And what Paul is saying is a frightening thing, and we have to keep this in mind. He says, Christian activities, as busy as you can get, doing evangelism, for example, doing teaching, doing discipling, helping the poor, teaching and preaching in church and leading worship, all these things, as great as they are, can be absolutely counterfeited. In fact, if you want to know the truth, every other religion has them. Every other religion. Tongues, some people think only Christians speak in tongues. It's just not true. Tongue speaking happens in other religions as well. Prophecy, teaching, lots and lots of money that you're giving to the poor, and a willingness to die for your faith. Let's face it, every religion has produced tons of people like that. So how in the world are you supposed to tell? What Paul is saying is not that you should stop giving your money to the poor, or not that you should stop teaching and doing all these things. He says the way you can tell real, true Christianity is not by how busy you are and how active you are, but whether or not actual supernatural character is growing. It's the fruit of the Spirit that cannot be counterfeited by magicians or by science or by Satan, but the gifts of the Spirit can. In fact, you have in Matthew 7 that frightening verse that I'll continue to bring you back to. It says on the final day, people will come to Jesus and say, Lord, Lord. Now, Lord, Lord is a very important address. By calling him Lord, it shows that they intellectually believe he's God. Kurios, they use this great, address. And they don't just say Lord, they say Lord, Lord. That's important. In the Bible, whenever you see a doubling, it means intensity of feeling. You know, when David's son Absalom is killed, he doesn't just say, Absalom, my son. He says what? Absalom, Absalom, my son, my son. It's intensification of emotion, the doubling. And here we have them saying, Lord, Lord, didn't we do great deeds in your name? Deeds. Didn't we cast out demons? Didn't we prophesy? Didn't we do mighty deeds in your name? And Jesus doesn't say to them, I'm sorry, but you backslid. He doesn't say that. He says, depart from me. I never knew you. I never knew you. I never knew you. And what he's doing is he's just simply giving, he's giving credence here. He's simply saying the same thing that Paul is saying. Paul is saying that whereas Christians certainly must be active and must be busy, that's not what actually shows that your faith is real. What shows that your faith is real, that you are getting more like Jesus in the way in which you behave, in the way in which you love, in the way in which you are in yourself. It's a scary question, but here it is. Are you less irritable than you were last year? Are you less anxious than you were last year? Are you more patient than you were last year? Are you a happier person than you were last year? Is there more peace in your life than there was last year? That doesn't prove that you're not a Christian, but it proves this. If you can't answer those things, in a satisfactory way, it's serious if you're not growing. It's serious. Because I'll tell you why. When you don't see yourself growing, you do tend to lose your assurance of your salvation. And without assurance of salvation, there's no power. There is no power. So get on the growth track and make sure these things are growing in your life. That's what Paul's saying. You wondered when I was going to get that. See, some of you say, you never use notes. You're not watching. I do use notes. Okay. Now, the second part of 1 Corinthians 13